Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. It's a very short kick taken by an up man. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We talked about prior to the game, and it played out right there on the first play, didn't it? This offensive line is going to have his hands full all night long.
Now, you often speak of scripts to start a game. Does this mean that play number 2, they're going to go off the script a little bit?
Yeah, what's interesting is that most people, when they script now, they actually script those contingencies in, okay, in case they can't run the play they want to. It's long distance now. Let's go to that play.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back deep is Darren Sproles. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And this will be down just inside the 30-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
At their own 27-yard line.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 26-yard line.
Come on.
Wentz going to throw. They'll set up the screen to Howard. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And Howard stopped short. He didn't get there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Well, so much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here that if you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10.
At their own 41-yard line.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, That's what all the guys are looking for.
Jones. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 13 yards, first down, Packers. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10.
53, Mike 53. I'm coming.
Now they try the right side here. He'll have another first down and more. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
It's just me and you.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Give him 9 on the play, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the 1st. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. So on now for the Packers is their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. Oh, that's offline. He hooked it. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. So what a let-off there. You figure that was an easy 3 points. Instead, it turns into nothing.
And from that close of range, if you start it left, your goose is cooked. And this thing, well, it never had a chance to straighten itself out.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked up by Darnell Savage, the rookie from Maryland. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 45 on second down, Rodgers. The connection made. It's Graham. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Rodgers going to throw. Looking deep for Adams. Yeah, that's going to be intercepted. Malcolm Jenkins, the Pro Bowler. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Really nice pick there for the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And a good story on that. He said he didn't even know he won the award. His buddy had to call him. He saw it on television and said, hey, congratulations. How about that?
And I'll bet you his buddy said, well, since you didn't know, I'll just go ahead and claim the award, right? And everything that goes along with it. But the reason he won the award the previous week and what we just saw there, instincts, understanding where the play is going and being able to make a play on the football.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down. On first, they go right back to Howard. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time, and it's third down.
Here we go. 120! Single. Mike. Two jet. Bravo.
It's our time.
From midfield, here's Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on third down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up second.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Rodgers now to throw. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Let's go, D. Big series right here.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Rodgers. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 22-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Number 53, Mike 53. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Tell me what you got.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Throwing is Rodgers. Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, after a rare scoreless first half, these teams now just looking for something as the second half gets underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight, maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the 3rd quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it a little bit different direction here because it's not just tight on the scoreboard. I think both offenses have been tight in how they've played this game. No one's been loose. No one's been free. They've got to find a way to make some plays, and I don't think you do it if you're really tight in everything that you're doing in the game.
Again, it's Howard. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
He ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen, guys, so that you don't take an interception? But really, the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
At the 38-yard line.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. Past the 20. Touchdown, Packers. Devontae Adams. His first touchdown on the year as his guys are on the board first here tonight. Well, these two teams battled through a scoreless first half. Finally, a breakthrough here in quarter number 3.
And I just wonder how that played for both of them psychologically, because when you battle through a scoreless first half, now you know that every possession is increasingly crucial. Who can put points on the board, make the other team chase? Wonder if you get a lift and if they get deflated a little bit.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk. To come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Wentz now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dean Lowry. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Throwing now is Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10.
At the 36-yard line.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Now Williams. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. The officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Defense wins championships, baby.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
On 2nd and goal, Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers. Geronimo Allison, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
No lead safe in the new NFL, but this score is really going to give them some needed breathing room.
Crosby with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They go with Howard again, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. And sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did. But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jair Alexander. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They really struggled in the first half, but they've made some adjustments looking better in the second half. But sometimes do we overanalyze? Is it always adjustments, or sometimes is it guys just sticking better to the game plan?
I think the latter, and I love how you brought that up because we always want to credit, oh, they adjusted here and they made this change there. Sometimes it's just executing what they worked on in practice all week much better. In this case, I think it's a combination. They found a different part of their playbook, and it's working really well for them.
Working extremely well at this point. He's going to have the first down past the 20 as he's all the way up to the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll get this out wide to Allison. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
319.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
Go to 50.
57's the mic. Watch 57. Watch the big down.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long. And I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them. And now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down. Now a first down carry by Jones. A little second effort there on the strong run. And then drop just inside of the 20. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down.
General West. 319.
On the ground, this is Williams. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their will from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Jamal Williams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay.
It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. A big play there for Philly. 56 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They run with Howard. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 16-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Howard. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Hate to say it, but that play typifies what we've seen from this offense all game long.
Yeah, don't you think maybe you flip over your play sheet as the offensive coordinator and see the side that says try something different? Because this has not worked all game long. They continue to try and get it done. They've got to come up with something a little bit different. Try something special, something they haven't seen.
Anything to score a point. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Now Wentz. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
They'll roll him out right. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
So on comes the Eagle kicker, Jake Elliott, on 4th down. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And the kick by Elliott is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but Very little reason to use him at this point. A run there on first down gets 3 up to the 28. Defensively, it was Avonte Maddox with a tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Rodgers throwing here. Flush to his right. Looking deep for Adams. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.